Welcome. This is Citizen News at 1. I'm Johnson Mwakazi. Now, Kenyatta National Hospital has now a substantive chief executive. Health Cabinet Secretary James Macharia, in consultation with the hospital board, has appointed Lily Chepkorir Koros as the CEO of the hospital, taking over from Simeon Monda, who has headed the hospital on an acting capacity. Jackie Maribe with this and other appointments as contained in a Gazette notice dated today.
The Kenyatta National Hospital now comes under new leadership, with Lily Chepkorir Koros' appointment as its new CEO. Koros will now be at the hospital's helm for a term of 3 years, having taken over from acting CEO Simeon Monda, who had himself taken over from Richard Lesiampe. The appointment made by Health Secretary James Macharia was made official in a Gazette notice dated 21st of February. The Consolidated Bank of Kenya also has new board members named by Treasury Secretary Henry Rotich. Bertha Joseph Denner, Charles Mbagaya Amira, Evans Gavala Vetisa, Miriam Cherogony, Papias Kirongothi Muhendi will now serve for a period of 3 years. And in Nairobi County, Governor Dr. Evans Kidero has appointed Charity Kisotu and Veska Kangogo to sit in the Nairobi City Council Public Service Board, while Meshak Guto becomes the board secretary. Jackie Maribe, Citizen Live at 1.
Now, governors begin their crisis retreat in Mombasa today to define ways of tackling what they term as an affront of their mandate by the Senate. The governors who are resisting the impeachment of one of their own, Embu Governor Martin Wambora, are also against summonses issued to 9 governors, requiring them to appear before the Senate Finance Committee. The county chiefs have so far acquired court orders barring the Senate from summoning the 9 governors. Kenagoro Badia is in the North Coast and joins us live with the latest from the governors' meeting. Kenagor Obadia, good afternoon. Kailis, give us the latest as far as that governors' summit is concerned.
Well, good afternoon to you, Johnston Mwakazi. We are at the Flamingo Beach in the North Coast. This is Mombasa County. And what is happening here is we are expecting 47 governors of the 47 counties countrywide to congregate here today, and 2 major weighty issues are awaiting them. And they are here to deliberate on what you just said rightfully, that an affront by Parliament, that is the Senate, to their mandate as governors. Remember, they are contesting 2 issues here. One is the impeachment of the Embu Governor Martin Wambora, which of course the Senate confirmed that, and that in their press conference yesterday they said as far as they are concerned, Martin Wambora is out of office. But again, the court is already seizing that matter, and the court went ahead to reinstate Wambora. And what has been happening here is causing now governors to think about Senate as an organization that is there to intimidate and finish devolution. The second issue that the governors would be here to deal with today would be the 9 governors who have been summoned by the Senate to appear, and they have since gone to the High Court, acquired a court order barring the Senate from going ahead with that particular summoning of the governors. So what has been here is happening around the country is the contest between the Senate and the governors, all involving the oversight role of the Senate. And the questions that are being asked here is, what is the exact role of the Senate in terms of trying to oversight the county assemblies? Those are the key issues that we will be looking at in this particular conference that is set to begin this evening, Mwakazi.
Kenagoro Badia, before I let you go, of course we are waiting to see what will transpire from the summit, but from the look of things, is it going to be an amicable approach to the relationship between the governors and the senators, or it's going to be a confrontational approach kind of meeting?
According to the way these things are going, Mwakazi, it is not going to end with between Senate and governors as such, because it is also taking the judicial approach. Remember, the senators are now claiming that what the judiciary has become is it has become refuge for those who are embracing impunity, those who are embezzling funds, those who are misappropriating public funds. They run to the courts, they acquire court orders to stop legislative process. So it's going to be a very wide approach here, and it will involve the legislature and the judiciary in larger margins. But then fundamental still is the relationship of the Senate and the counties in terms of what exactly is the role of the Senate in its oversight role over the counties. Remember, this is all about public funds, and the governors have been claiming that what the Senate should be doing is not looking into the implementation and the actual expenditure in the counties, but rather looking at the amount to be allocated to counties. And the Senate says, we cannot allocate you funds that you cannot be held accountable for. That is the contest. It is going to be, a crisis if the Senate and Parliament in general take the approach they are trying to do now, because they are saying they will go ahead to deny funds to the counties that have, whose governors have refused to appear, and as well as trying to ensure that the judiciary as well, that's the National Assembly, will be also looking at a way of trying to cut down the powers of judiciary, or rather deny them the necessary funds they need. So there will be a crisis if that is the approach that is going to be. But what the governors will be looking at will be specifically how to get back to their counties and be able to implement their functions without interference from the Senate. And that interference is what the Senate calls oversight role, Mwakazi.
All right, many thanks indeed, Kenda Gorobadia, for that report. We totally appreciate. Remember, at 9 p.m. we'll be giving you a detailed coverage of the governor's crisis meeting. Now, in the meantime, High Court Judge David Majanja has given Nairobi Governor Evans Kidero and Nairobi Women Representative Rachel Shebesh 7 days to withdraw their complaints at respective police stations before charges against them can be dropped. This comes after the Director of Public Prosecutions wrote to the court claiming he was not party to the negotiations between Kidero and Shebesh to settle the matter out of court. The two served the DPP with a copy of the agreement following their reconciliation after the September 6th incident in which Kidero is alleged to have slapped Shebesh after she stormed his office accompanied by striking Nairobi county workers. Let's move on to another story here. Property of unknown value was destroyed after fire gutted down several Juakali sheds in Nyamira County. According to the traders, the fire started at around 10 p.m. yesterday. The traders claim they lost all their investment as nothing was salvaged in the night fire. They now accuse the county government of failing to prioritize acquisition of fire engines to help during fire incidents. The cause of the fire has not been established.
Naomba tu serikali ambayo inaongozwa na bwana gavana wetu Nyagarama, watu warudishwe vile walikuwa. Tuko na pesa za mkaza, na ikiwa kwa sababu kila serikali yoyote hili ambayo imeundwa iko na pesa ya mkaza yoyote, na aina hii ni moja yao ya mkaza ile ambao imekuja katika kaunti yetu ya Nyamira.
Kufika usiku tukaitwa, vitu yenu imechomeka yote. Kukimbia mpaka hapa tukapata vitu imechomeka kila kitu. Tunashangaa na tunalia, tuko na maroni, tumesindu mahali tunaenda.
Let's move on to another story now. Toyota Kenya, the manufacturers of Yamaha motorbikes, have come up with a campaign aimed at training border operators on the traffic rules in a bid to curb road accidents. The campaign, which is being undertaken in conjunction with manufacturers of motorcycles, distributors, St. John's Ambulance, County Government of Meru and the police, will cover operators within Meru and its environs.
Yamaha conducting a full campaign on how to ride safely with trainers trained by Yamaha Riding Academy. How to affordably maintain the motorcycle being used in border business.
Safety is something that we must actually take very seriously because the motorcycle accidents take a lot of money.
All right, we want to take a short break, but before we go, we have a feedback question here, and we're looking at the use of a single visa in East Africa. That project has already been launched, so you just need one single visa, and you can visit any East African country. What do you think of that particular project? Do you support the use of a single visa in the East African region? Send us your comments. The number is 22422. That's 22422. Kindly include your name and location, and we'll be glad to sample some of them. In the meantime, let's take this short break. We'll be right back with more. Don't go away.